Ah, God help me not to sing Burna Boy in the middle of this presentation. I don't understand this song, guys, on my mouth size.
Sing it.
I refuse.
It's on your life now. You can go ahead.
Okay. So, good morning, everybody. I hope we're all doing good. So, I'm just going to jump into what I have for today. Let me not bore you, and waste your time. So, today I want to talk about social media monitoring, and this is personal for me because I experienced it firsthand, like especially for some of us on this call, the project I handle. And I remember when I first got on the project, when I was hearing, oh, it's tech visa for tech people, I felt like, oh, this will be easy, because people talk about tech every day. We're in Nigeria, people want to jackpot, so I felt like, oh, this would be easy. And then the company had a lot of materials that I could convert into content, so I was like, okay, I should be able to gather thousands on social media. I was shocked, and I'll show you why I was shocked. So, what is social monitoring? There is something called social monitoring and something called social listening. Now, people tend to um, intertwine the two and use them together, but there's actually a difference. So, social media monitoring helps you find everything that is relevant to you on social media, and it gives you a deeper understanding of the conversations happening about you and your brand. Because whether every day on social media, conversations are happening. People are tweeting about their experience. People are tweeting about their problems. People are tweeting about um, finding different solutions to their problems. It's not uncommon to see somebody come online and tweet and say, oh, I want to learn tech. How can I learn tech? Or, oh, I use this product or I use this brand. They are so terrible. So there are conversations happening. So you want to understand most times it helps you understand what the market wants. That's what social monitoring is. When you are tweeting, when you're monitoring, you're not monitoring the entire social media. You're monitoring certain keywords as they pertain to your brand. For someone like me who is marketing technician visa, I'll probably be wanting to monitor something like, what's the word? I'll probably want to monitor maybe visa applications, this visa or that visa, so that when somebody tweets or when somebody posts on Twitter or somebody posts on Instagram or anywhere on the net, because you even have Google alerts. Google alerts would um alert you as soon as somebody mentions that keyword on the internet. So maybe a blog post or a question on Quora or something like that. So it just lets you understand what people are saying about your brand, people are saying about your product, people are saying about your services. That's what social monitoring helps you do. And for most people, they do social monitoring so that they can actually jump into the conversations, join the conversations, educate somebody. And then because when somebody has a problem and you come offering solutions and you come educating the person, I'll do like this, do like this, it gives the impression that, oh, you are knowledgeable in this thing, and that ends you a followership from the person or whatever. But yeah, people will reference you. But for social listening, it involves keeping an eye on your brand's social media platforms for any customer feedback, direct brand mentions, or discussion about a particular. So for social listening, I'm probably just listening in for my brand. I could just be listening in for emigrate, somebody mentioning emigrate, somebody talking about emigrate. But for social monitoring, you're doing the bigger picture. That's the difference. I just wanted to put that out there. So why is social monitoring important? People talk about brands on social media, whether or not you like it. At some point, I've talked about a brand. At some point, other people have talked about a brand. So you can learn a lot when you listen to what they are saying. You can learn what the market wants. You can learn what customers want, what they don't like, and what they don't like. And another thing about social monitoring, it helps you know your competitors. It helps you know people you're competing, because they are also going to be talking about your product as well, or your product or your service, or whatever it is, they are going to be talking about it. So you know what they are up to. You can even, if your competitor is going to maybe launch a new product in a week's time or 2 weeks time, you would have sensed it from their messaging. Also, you will know how to prepare yourself. You will know what the market is saying about your competitors and be like, okay, oh, let's not do this one, people don't like it, or let's do this one, people like it. So that's why it's important. It also helps you create brand awareness, as you know, because if it will help you even discover your goal. Let me put it that way. We discover what your goal should be on social. Because for me, I felt like my goal on social media should be trying to make sales, which is what I was doing. I was trying to like convert people. But when I started social monitoring, I realized that it's like they don't even know me. It's like they don't, because nobody was tweeting about my brand. Nobody was mentioning my brand. So it helps you learn a lot. You will know where you stand in the market. Are people talking about me? Are people not talking about me? And all of that. So how social monitoring can help your business build a strong brand. That's if awareness is your goal. Like maybe you've done um monitoring for a while and you realize that, oh, nobody's talking about us, so nobody knows us. So what are we going to do? So what awareness will help you do is that when you see people asking, for instance, now with the project I handle, if I'm online and then somebody tweets or somebody puts a post on social media, on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, and asks a question that what is the, or let me even give you guys a perfect example. Sometime last week somebody was asking what other way there to jackpot aside from student visa, or except from, sorry, hold on, except from student visa or what's it called, except from student visa, or the person just asked what's the another way to jackpot. So I said, as soon as I saw it, I was like, the other ways you can jackpot, there's tech nation visa, there is this, there is that, and all of that, and all of that. And the person was like, oh, I didn't know about this before. And I was like, yeah, that it's not, I don't know why people don't know, but it's actually cheaper, it's better, it's easier. I gave all the whole information. I was sounding like a pro, because this is something I've been doing. I was sounding like a pro. So the person followed me, and I was like, you know what, you can follow Bincom Dev Center because they talk about this thing a lot. The person was like, oh, thank you very much. And then, 10 other people followed me because of that particular tweet. And I started like directing them to, because I wasn't using the company's account, I was just conducting experiments then. So I just direct them. So that's how you build awareness, because they are going to, some of them will retweet, their friends will see it. Do you understand? Their friends will, and if because it's safe to assume that they are all in the same carcass. They are probably all having the same problems, or at least maybe 50% or 40% of them, of his friends, will have the same problem. So they will see your brand, and so you are building awareness like that. It keeps growing. It's important to mention that when you are doing awareness goal like that, don't come too salesy. Don't come and talk about your sales. People don't really like that. They won't trust you when you do that. So what you should do is come from a place of, oh, I'm trying to help. Come from a place, which is what they teach us in social influence as well. Come from a place of, oh, I'm trying to help, or I'm trying to provide value to you, because that one gets them to follow you better, because you're showing that you care about their problems. Customers don't like it when people act like you don't care about their problems. You just want to make money. So yeah, so this kind social monitoring can help you build a strong brand awareness. It will let you even know whether awareness is your problem or not. So, but by keeping an eye on the media, you can also identify any misconceptions, and deal with them, and just generally sound as a thought leader in the in your industry. And one of the things about sound like a thought leader and why this is important. I got this from Emigrate. I did a survey on our existing customers, and I was asking them, oh, what motivated you to use our services? And somebody was like, one person in particular answered is that the way Mr. Bade approaches relocation and immigration, because Mr. Bade does sound like an expert. So yeah, when you say that, is enough to motivate somebody to say, okay, I'm going to use I'm going to use these people's services, because yeah, they sound like experts. So it's a thing, really. So another way it can help you identify key opinion leaders in your field. Now, key opinion leaders are people whose opinions are respected in a particular field. So okay, we're on tech here. So if you're on Twitter, I'm sorry, I'm saying Twitter a lot. Know that you can do this on other platform, but Twitter was what I experimented with, and Twitter is a platform where mostly I am mostly on Twitter most times. So for Twitter now, you have people like Ogbeni and Co, whose opinions are respected in the tech field. So you can identify people like this and know that, okay, if you want to do influencer marketing, these are the people you want to, because they have similar audience with you. There is no point saying, how do I explain this now? There's no point you are like what I'm marketing now. I will not say I want to go and meet let me look for a popular brand that has a lot of like a gist lover, or so. I mean, they have a lot of following, but most of they might not be my target audience. It makes a lot of sense for me to go with somebody whose audience is strictly tech. I would get more conversions. I would get more out of my money for that than if I'm just going for. So it helps you. And there are other. I'm saying these people I'm mentioning are people with big numbers, 250K followers different social media. Sometimes you can look for people who have 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers. For 20,000 or 10,000 people to be following you, you know that they are delivering something. So if they have your audience, they are usually easier to work with. That's the crazy part. They are easier to work with. Most of them are still trying to build a following. So if you're creating relevant content that is relevant for the tech community, if you're creating content that is relevant for the tech community, and then you start building a relationship, you may not have to pay. If you're building a relationship, you're probably maybe celebrating the person on your own page. You celebrate milestone with them. Today he did so and so, and then you recognize so person on your page. You are asking those person. It starts the reason that they might retweet your tweets. They might post it back on their own profile, and they will get to their own audience as well, because by the time you are acknowledging them, they are human beings. This is human connection. They would acknowledge, and like I said, you are creating content that is relevant to their community. So definitely they want to add value to their community. They also want to grow their community. So it stands to reason that, they may actually repost whatever it is you have posted to their community, and that's just broadening your reach, is expanding your reach, and then you can sell better. Because if somebody whose opinion I consider on Twitter is tweeting about a particular service, then I would trust that he knows he knows those people, and then he trusts them. So it's normal for me to want to trust them. But I should add that don't go and look at somebody that is already marketing for your competitor. Don't even bother. Don't do that one. But if you see the person is just a neutral person, and then they are not, for instance, now I'm in tech. I won't go and meet somebody for global tech. I won't go and meet, if I was doing global tech, I won't go and meet somebody who is already selling a boot camp. Do you understand? Like trying to get people to come. Don't even bother. But somebody who's just tweeting about tech generally, trying to educate people, and here he wants to educate too. So if there is a place, he can just tell you, if you want better, you can go to these people. That's how you so monitoring will help you identify those key ones that you need, and help you eliminate the ones, because they would also be tweeting about the keywords that you monitor, no doubt. So it gives you better content idea, which is so true, because in as an inbound marketer, I consider myself an inbound marketer. So one of the things that we learn, or one of the things we're always hearing when we're doing personal development, is always you have to talk about your interest. Even as a marketer, before you start marketing any product, you have to do something called the target an audience analysis. And in your audience analysis, you have to talk about, you state the interest of your target audience, because that's what you create content around. And which makes a lot of sense, because that's how you grab them. There's a lot of things happening in your social media. People want, there's so many content. So attention is the new currency. If you can grab their attention, you are one step closer to making a sale. So when you're monitoring certain words that it pertain to your brand, and you're seeing people who are talking about your brand, you're seeing potential customers. If you check out these potential customers, there's usually a pattern. If you check out two, three, four potential buyers, you will see that there's usually there's usually they have certain interest, and there's a pattern. You can tell it's always within. It's not like the interest would vary so widely. No, it's always within the same circle. So you can now know better how to create interest to catch their and to grab their attention. It's always easier to grab attention. You can also learn from your competitors. You can, especially if you have competitors who are doing so well on social media. So when you spy on them, you can know, okay, this is what they are doing. Okay, this is what they are doing. This is where they are getting. So don't go and copy, and I'm not there. Don't go and copy and paste. Don't copy and paste. Use sense. You just, what's the idea behind the content, and then go back and create your own using that same idea. Don't go and copy for them. They will sue you on your own. So yeah, so it gives you better content ideas. You not only know your interests, you know the problems of your target audience, and these are what you should be using as content, what your target audience is interested in, and then what your target audience problems are, whether or not they directly relate to your brand. Obviously they will have to directly relate to your brand, but if you can go the extra mile, and then create content that solve other um problems that you feel that they might have, well and good, you're just making them love you the more. You're just making them love you the more. I would give you, and when you do that, you are creating brand advocate for yourself. I'll give you an example. The way HubSpot did it to me. HubSpot, when I started out in marketing, I just got thrown into the river. I just got thrown into the sea, and I had to swim one way or the other, because they just say you do personal development and then do something. They trust that you are smart enough to come up with something. So when I discovered HubSpot helped me out a lot. They solved a lot of problems. For if I had any question, marketing, how do I do this? How do I do that? There was always, I didn't even know what HubSpot was selling. That's how crazy, but they were solving a lot of problems for marketers. Before I now realized that, oh, it's market automation that they are selling. So as a marketer, you are going to need marketing software eventually. So of course, I'm going to go to HubSpot. Of course, if somebody comes to meet me and ask me, I'll go to HubSpot. They know what they are. So when you are creating the right content for the right, they will become your, whether or not you are, the when you are sleeping, they will be the one that will be telling other people, buy this, so buy this. And there is nothing like word of mouth. I did say here that I conducted a survey on our existing customers on Emigrate, and a lot of them, like, how did you hear about our service? From a friend, from a friend, from a friend. I was not even thinking, so what am I not even doing on social media if it's from a friend? But then I realized that the friends found us on social media as well, so it's not a waste of time. So you would create brand ambassadors when you are giving out value to your customers. In inbound marketing, it's all about value for the customers. Marketing has changed these days. It's not more about your brand. It's now about what you can do for the customers. So yeah, it will help you know your industry and competitors. I think I have said this a lot. I think I've said about, yeah, I've talked about this. Yeah, but you can also predict future trends in your industry. This is really true. So because I do visas, when I did Google alerts for the web, because there's the one for social media, and then if you want to monitor the internet, if for instance, like, if Tech Nation decides to release maybe an update in their process or something, I'll probably know, because as soon as they drop a post or drop a press release or whatever, Google will alert me that, oh, so and so about the Tech Nation. If one other country wants to drop maybe a tech visa, because these days they're just dropping, I don't countries are just looking for tech talent. So if this country drops and say, oh, I want to so and so, you would know. So you will be on top, and then you can predict what next is going to happen. Because if this one is doing like this, I can predict that, oh, these people are going to follow, or that people are going to follow, and all of that and all of that. So yeah, you can, and I think at the end of, you can tell that it's a good thing to be on top. It's a good thing. You can control your reputation and react to emergency situation, which is very true, especially on social media, that it doesn't even, before you know, you have blue, you're already trending if you don't take time. So most times when people post something, you can react at least within an hour to say, oh, maybe they post a misconception about your brand. I'd be like, no, that's not it. Or maybe they post a misconception about a product that you're selling, and you're like, no, it doesn't work that way, and all of that. No, like, for instance, somebody, I was talking about technician, and then somebody was like, this one cannot work for people who did not go to a uni. And I was like, you don't even need a degree for it, which is true. You don't really need a degree to get technician visa. If it is a high school degree that you have, if it's secondary SSC that you have, what technician is concerned about is your tech skill. What can you do with that tech skill? Are you a web guy? Are you a coder? Or what can you do with that tech skills? What's important to them? They don't care about your degree. So yeah, so you can know, and that makes me someone knowledgeable, because they will go and confirm. Bear in mind, though, all those people on social media, they are not feeling fine. So if you are going to be tweeting out something, be sure of what you are saying, because they are ready to finish you. Yeah, and it's very hard to come back from a bad press. It's very, 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 very hard. So know what you are saying online before you go and say it, Sha. And like I said, the main thing there, remember, is that you want to help your customers. Don't think about selling. Don't think about making a sales. Just offer value, and then they will give you their money in return for value. That's how it works. I've seen it happen, and yeah, that's how it works. So some social learning tips that I would give you, and this is good for small businesses. If you own a small business, or you own a brand, you are marketing a big brand, or you're just somebody who is trying to build an influence online. You're trying to grow a community of whatever it is you're trying to. Are you trying to grow a community of coders? Are you trying to grow a community of, or if you're serious about social influence, like the way they tell us here at Bincom, if you want to do your social influence, if you want to stop looking for ways to go and answer questions, just do social monitoring, so that when somebody drops question anywhere, you're already there to answer, and you come and give them screenshot on social influence, and so you don't have to be going to Friday meetings in the evening. Oh well and good. So, but what some social listening tips I'll give is that identify the pain points of your target audience. See, if you can address the pain points of your target audience, you'll make sales, because that's the essence of them. At the end of the day, especially in tech, there's no point coming up with a product or a service if it's not solving a problem for somebody. There's no point. So obviously, every product, every service is solving a problem for somebody. So identify what the pain points of those your target audience is. Then you create content addressing those pains. They will come because you're addressing their problems. And they'll start to trust you, especially if you're giving out the right info. They'll start to trust you, and then you are building because they will talk to you. It's important that you converse. People love it when brands converse. I think one of the biggest brands I've seen do this thing is Netflix. They converse. They're always jumping on conversation using slangs. Do you understand? It feels good to know that, oh, there's actually a person there than when you're just talking to the air. Which is why I keep saying it, that I don't think AI will take away marketers, will take away salespeople our job, because nobody likes to buy from people. Like to buy from people. I don't if you guys have ever called MTN, especially God, MTN especially, they ever called customer care and they're sounding like robots. It's really annoying. It is really annoying. It pisses me off. So nobody wants to talk to you. People want to talk to people. People want to build connections, build relationships. So identify their pain points and use that pain point to create content, and then build relationship, build a conversation, converse back and forth. Now choose strategic keywords and topics to monitor. See, one of the mistakes I made was to go and be what's the word? Go and be monitoring visa application. There are a lot of visa. There is student visa. There's fiancé visa. There is visiting. There are a lot of visas, and all those visas don't concern me. So it was just a headache. So I had to be smart about it. You have to narrow it down to keywords that you know that it is directly related to your business. For instance, no matter what context the person is tweeting or posting on the internet, if somebody's talking about technician visa, definitely is related to us. If somebody's talking about startup visa, is related to. So these are keywords that I would look out for, and look at for keywords that are also related to your brand in a way. When I say related, okay, for instance, now the student visa is not in our jurisdiction. We don't do student visa, but we know how stressful student visa is. It's expensive. It is, and it's expensive. It doesn't lead to permanent residency as people think. There's always a struggle after student visa. People don't talk about it a lot because Nigerians are resilient people. They shall find a way to stay there. After the day, find a way to stay there. So, but really, it's not. It doesn't really lead to permanent residency. So we are offering things that lead to permanent of residency. We are offering visas that don't need you to go to school again, because I can't even go to school. I barely finished BSc to come and be doing masters again. And there are a lot of people like that. So we have something better to sell. So I would monitor for student visa. So if somebody's out there talking about student visa, I can just chip it in a natural way that doesn't feel as if I want to come and sell. Is important, in a natural way, that doesn't feel like you want to come and sell. I'm like, oh, have you heard of so and so? Then educate them, because these are also my potential. If you have money to go and do student visa, you have money for this one that I'm selling to you. It's almost cheaper, slightly cheaper, and it's better because you're not going as a student. You are going as as a global talent. Exactly. So number three, don't try to monitor all platforms. Oh my God, these two. See, just look for where your customers are. Just look for where your target audience are. Don't bother trying. You want to monitor. You except you have a large team. Except you have a large team. People like Coca-Cola, who they have like money and they have like a huge marketing budget, can decide to do that. They can pay someone to look at Twitter, pay somebody. But when you that you know that it's only your small business, or maybe you are managing a brand and you are the only one who is on that project, don't try to monitor. It's not effective at all. Find one platform where you know. For people in tech, you can tell obviously LinkedIn and Twitter. From the survey I gathered, LinkedIn and Twitter, because you see IG is jai people that are in IG, people that want to, and TikTok, except you are doing dancing. We don't dance where we are coming from, so we don't do that one. So just monitor. You can still have you can still have a presence on all these social media because people can accidentally run into you. But when you want to monitor, because there's a lot of work to actually monitor keywords, especially if you're a brand and you want to jump into conversation. So just stay where your target audience are and monitor from there. Be there with them. They would say they would really want to spread your word, your name outside. So don't worry about that one. So use it to improve your customer feedback process and generate leads by following recommendation and following conversations, which is true. You can improve your customers' feedback. See, sometimes customers don't even bother. This they say they don't even bother going to what's it called? Going to calling customer care and saying, you people, can you call? They will just go to social media and blast you. So you have to be there. You have to know. You have to be waiting for them and be ready to just correct whatever mistake is there. And you can also generate leads by following recommend, because really people will come out. If somebody can use your products and be like, I wish these people would do so and so. I really like the product, but I don't like how it was slow. I don't like this. So you can start saying, okay, people don't like this. Let's change this and make it make it, what's it called, and make it better. You can also follow conversations. You just know what you're doing. Exactly. So some of these social monitoring tools will cost you money. Some are free, but these are the free ones that I mentioned here. There are things that you can easily do. Most times, as you're logging in, if you check them out online, as you're logging in, you'll be seeing instructions on how to use them. Native analytics tools. This is tools that's supposed to be here. So these are just a few out there, but obviously they won't be as what's the word now, like when you are paying for something, you know how it is now. It's always better, the experience is better, but yeah, they can still get the work done, no doubt. But for bigger brands, probably is the ones I'll say that they should pay. But yeah, you can still use all this. I used TweetDeck and it gave me a lot of data. It really helped me out. So yeah, these are a few of them. And with that, I have come to the end of my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it like I did. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask me. I'm here to answer you. And that's any questions, people.
It's fine. You can still leave your slide on because it's still on live stream, so it's fine. What else? Yeah, well done. Thank you very much. I have a question. My question goes like this. I just want to know how tedious the process can be actually. Am I on? It's on. You're muted in case you're trying to talk.
I said I didn't hear your question, sir.
Okay, my question was like, how tedious can the process be? You are muted again, though. Can anyone else hear me?
I'm shouting at somebody. So what did you ask?
Yeah.
You're breaking badly.
Am I breaking?
No.
Okay. I think it's your network. But then the question I asked was
You
that
can still hear Patrick because I cannot hear.
How tedious can the process be, like you get into can you hear me?
Patrick, it's your network. You are breaking.
Okay then.
You're breaking, sir. You can type it, chat. Does anybody have any other question?
I don't know if you can hear me clearly.
Hey, I can hear you. I wasn't hearing Patrick.
Okay.
Patrick, you can type your question. No?
You actually mentioned something about social influence, which I would really like to do. You said it will be it's possible for us to actually get automatic, responses from people
Yeah,
when
sure.
they actually need something. So what is that tool you use?
For me, like I said, I basically experimented on Twitter. So the tool I used was TweetDeck. It was TweetDeck because I just wanted to try one. But the tools I kept online, and if you go online, you can just search free tools for social monitoring or social listening. It there are some that will integrate 3-in-1 for you. There are some 2-in-1. So just figure out, okay, where is the place I want to monitor. Then figure out the tools that can accommodate those at once. Do you get, Michael?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah, I do. Thank you.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I
Yes.
can hear you.
Yeah. So Patrick, it's not like it's a tedious process for somebody like me that I'm marketing something. It can be a tedious process if you're spreading yourself all over the place. It can be a tedious process because you have to follow here, follow there. That's why I said focus on where your target audience are. It's basically you just signing into to the platform. Let me use TweetDeck for instance. You sign into the platforms, then you put the keywords that you want to use. You want to track. If you are doing social influence now, the kind of keywords you want to be tracking is maybe I don't know the keywords in web development. I don't know, but there are certain things that you know that somebody might want to know about. Or you might just decide to monitor tech in general. So just find keywords that you know that you want to be answering questions to. And then what usually happens is that when somebody tweets about that, if you're using TweetDeck or when somebody tweets about that, you get a notification that, oh, this person tweeted about something. So you can go there and then answer. So the good thing is that you can do this at your time whenever you are free. You might see the notification in the morning and maybe it's in the evening, have time to answer. The conversation will be there. So you can always go. So it's not really it's only tedious marketers who have to answer in real time, who want to, because there are other competitors who might be coming. But if you're not selling anything, you just want to offer value, you can do it at your own time. Do you get now, Patrick?
Yes, I do. Am I still breaking?
No, not so much anymore.
Right.
Sean, thank you.
Since when? Are you just
Yeah.
saying it?
I'm glad you guys liked the presentation. No, I said before, I didn't even know it was you that